I have created the most phenomenal way for you to start making money.
I invite you to come to my seminar. Learn how to make a lot of money.
To discover the joys of having money.
$15,000. There's checks to prove it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Interesting thing about Tai Lopez, to me, is that it's the same person over and over again for each generation that are Ponzi schemers or ripoff artists, and alleged for Tai Lopez. But when I was younger, there was a guy named Tom Vu, and he would take videos and he would be on at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I know you're going to review it. He's like, you want to live like me? You want all these girls like me?
I started with nothing, filthy rich. Is the next millionaire going to be you?
You can do it too. What are you waiting for?
I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I only found the formula, the secret to be wealthy. You deserve to be broke.
And he'd be on like a yacht, and they would say like, hey, you know, Tom Vu, he will pay for property for you. That was the big thing when I was little. It was like property buying, flipping property, buying cars and flipping them. In fact, there's a guy now that when I was a kid would have infomercials about flipping cars, has like reinvented himself. And now he's like, and I forgot the guy's name, I'll look him up. He used to say like, oh, buy my book on how to sell cars, how to flip cars. And that was like his whole spiel. And now he has like a new thing. He reinvented himself, and now he's like a business guy. I bought and sold, 300 businesses. So it's the same guy over and over again. It's just carbon copies of the same guy.
Keep repeating the same successful process many times over. You'll become very wealthy.
And especially when it comes to like Ponzi schemes, I've seen so many over my 30 years. There's a real famous one in Fort Lauderdale, Scott Rothstein, who was convicted of ripping off people for over $1 billion.
A judge sentenced Scott Rothstein to 50 years in prison. The former attorney pleaded guilty to duping investors out of over $1 billion.
There was another guy in New York who ripped off people for over $1 billion, both lawyers, by the way. But same personality, cars, houses, throwing money around, telling people, oh, I'll treat everyone to drinks. Same personality over and over again. So that's what you see on the internet now, is like all these guys that are selling their programs for $5,000 a month. They're not doing anything new. They're doing it in a new way, but they're not doing anything new. They're all the same guy that was from the 90s that was doing infomercials and saying like, buy my course. I'm going to teach you how to do Forex. I'm going to teach you how to buy and sell stocks and make, $5,000 a day. Guys that are real billionaires are not teaching courses and selling courses. It's guys that need to sustain their lifestyle. They're not doing it for the good of society. They're doing it because you're paying $10,000 a month for a course. Now, that's not to say you could learn something. You might be able to learn something from one of these guys.
There are two kinds of people in life, the doer and the loser. Which one are you?
I mean, I get calls weekly from like these 20-year-olds that are working for, these other guys that are selling courses and saying like, hey, how can I, what do you feel is the best way to improve your life? Scaling. Tell me about scaling. Like, what do you feel about scaling? Like, they're reading obviously from, a script, and usually the scripts are weak. If you know what you're listening to, they're scripts, but they prey on people that are in situations that need to make money, or they see all these people in Miami driving Lamborghinis like they're Hondas, and they're like, wait a minute, what does that guy do? I need to do what he does.
Why do you think people still fall for it?
People always fall for the same thing because it's the hope. They have this, hope springs eternal. Like, they have the hope and dream that they would do a lifestyle like any of these guys. There was a guy in New York that was, selling cable cards or like cable boxes, and he was making $1 gazillion. He was driving 30 or 40 different cars, and they have a feeling like, if that guy can do it, then I can do it. They don't realize like these are just people that have built up their quote unquote businesses by selling businesses. There'll always be an audience for that. There'll always be someone who'll fall for that. What I think is the most unusual thing about it is that nowadays you can go on YouTube and learn things for free. You can attend classes at different online schools for free and learn a lot of the things that they're, these quote unquote techniques that they're teaching. They're online, like how to scale. Like, it's not that big of a deal. If someone would take the time to actually review and learn on their own, they can do it on their own. The problem that you have is most people have two problems. One is they don't have the confidence to do it. So they need someone holding their hand to say like, hey, you're doing great. That's number one. Number two is they feel like that individual, that person who's telling them what to do will tell them more than watching a YouTube video, when they can watch the same thing on a YouTube video and learn the exact same thing. They think it's kind of like a shortcut. And it really isn't a shortcut. You know, there is only one way to be successful, and that is to dedicate yourself to whatever you feel is going to benefit you the best. Dedicate all your time to that. Study it, learn it, inside and out. Like people that have a business, a real business, they know the cost of goods. They know landing costs. They know everything about their business inside and out. The reason why they know that is because they're passionate about it. They understand it, and they're desperate to grow. Now, what happens is people always reach this plateau in any business. Mediocrity is the enemy of greatness. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm at a point where I'm making $1 million or $2 million a year. This is a really good point to be at. It is a great point to be at. I mean, it's not a lot of money. It is a lot of money. That's where people have problems growing their business past that, because they're so happy with what they have, they can't figure out how to grow it bigger. And that's okay. Some people are okay with just being where they are. If they wanted to grow it to a bigger portion, and ultimately you always have to grow, because expenses go up, cost of goods go up, labor expenses go up. All those things go up. And if you're still making $2 million a year, your business is grossing $2 million a year, you'll see all those expenses start to catch up. And then all of a sudden, you're not making what you were making 5 years ago. You're making, 30 or 40% less. So if you're not growing, essentially your business is dying. You always have to be growing in some way. And whether that is expanding different areas or expanding different revenue streams.
So if someone's stuck in that plateau period, where do you think that they should start?
So if they're stuck in a plateau period, you have to look at, how to get to the next level. That's where people always get jammed up. They get analysis paralysis. So essentially what happens is they don't know what steps to take to get them to the next level. Is it hiring more people? Is it more advertising? Is it more marketing? And they're scared to make a decision, because if they make the wrong decision, it could just destroy their business. If they all of a sudden decide to sink $100,000, $200,000 in the marketing, but they don't have enough people to handle the new business, you just threw out 200 grand. So I think it's the way that you stack. And when I say stack, I mean the ideas that you have, the way that you stack those. Like you might need to hire 2 new people before you start marketing. Those are things that you have to come to the decision. And a lot of people can't get to that next level. They can't figure that next piece out. And if you can figure it out, you could go to the moon. If you can't figure it out, sometimes you waste a lot of money. So in their minds, that's why they hire these guys that they feel like, oh, if I hire this guy, he can come in and he can tell me the secret sauce of what to do. But no one really has the secret sauce. It is what it is. Study other businesses, learn how they grew. I mean, it's like Taco Bell started, one location. The guy stole the recipes from another restaurant that he worked at for like 2 or 3 years. And he's like, okay, I get it. I can do this better. And then he went out and opened a Taco Bell. So it's like, if you are truly passionate about something, I always suggest people get an internship someplace, work for free, rather than paying someone 10 grand a month. Now they'll tell me, oh, well, I don't have the time to do that, or I can't do it, or blah, blah, blah. That's okay too. Then go on YouTube, read some books. There's excellent books that, really can show you how to scale, or show you, how different businesses scaled in the past. And then you can use that as a blueprint to move your business forward. But I think a lot of people are maybe too lazy, or they feel like they don't have enough time. But truly, you do have enough time. It's just you're not using your time wisely.